Welcome back to Next Shift with Rick Wagan. Suzuki does not suck. Habs win game number 1-0 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was an interesting game, a lot of power plays for both teams. The Montreal Canadiens took the victory with a Cole Caufield goal and a standout performance by Samuel Montembeault. What I have with me a guest, Stephen Cohen is back, and we'll be talking about the game together. So let me bring Stephen back. Hi, Stephen. Are you there? I think you have to click. You're on mute. There you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, all good.
Great. So I just mentioned to the crowd here that the Montreal Canadiens won 1-0 on a goal by Cole Caufield and a standout performance by Samuel Montembeault.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I'll kind of just jump right into it. I thought the Canadiens started very well. I thought the first period they looked pretty solid. A lot like last year in the second period, it looked like the Toronto Maple Leafs took it to them, but they kept the puck out of the net. And then obviously in the third period, it looks like they were just hanging on by a thread. And let's call the thread Samuel Montembeault. There was obviously some good defensive play as well by the Montreal Canadiens. But all in all, it was a good first game, a great first game. They won the game 1-0. They will not be 0-82 this year, so that's good. And
Yeah.
And we can talk about. I love your take on the game, and then we could talk about the players and what we thought we saw.
Yeah, I mean, what a great start. What a great defensive effort, fantastic goaltending, couple of great, performances by players, new players. Lane Hudson really showed me some stuff tonight. Commanded the puck, the confidence that he displayed with carrying the puck and his opportunities on the power play, even though they were somewhat limited. I would have liked to see him more on the, on the first line for the power play. But aside from that, I was just very impressed with the young kids that played in their first game. Alex Barré-Boulet, I thought he started off slow, but he generated some really good scoring chances. So
Right.
very pleased with the effort from the Habs.
All right, I agree with you on Lane Hudson, and I've been a proponent of having him on PP1, and I think it's going to take 2 or 3 or 5 games before Montreal kind of gets him out there. I thought Matheson played a good game. I don't think it's a Matheson problem. I think the fact that he brings another layer of opening up lanes that no one does. He's a very creative player. So I agree with you on that, and I agree with you on Alex Barré-Boulet. I'll say this, not to be, a pessimist, but I wasn't impressed with Emil Heineman today. I thought he was kind of, looked nervous out there, didn't get a lot of ice time. And so we'll see how that kind of plays out. But all in all, your buddy Josh Anderson, I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
I thought he played a good defensive game on the penalty kill. And then I actually thought he did what he does, forechecking. He didn't have too many chances, so I can't complain about him missing the net. I don't know how many shots he had on that, but that doesn't matter. I think he brought his game to today. So did Gallagher. So did Evans. It was a good team win. I thought Slafkovsky's assist on Cole Caufield's goal was amazing. That being said, I didn't really think Slafkovsky played a great game today. I mean, he did a couple of things that were interesting, but Slafkovsky and and Suzuki, I think, needed to step it up. I thought Caufield played a really good game. I think he had his legs, and then Matheson as well. Yeah. So that being said, I mean, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, let's talk about a few of the needs for improvement. So there are a couple of times in the second period and in the third period where the Canadiens just couldn't get the puck out of the zone, and that's got to get fixed. So I don't know what it is, whether it's just classic breakout or something, but it looked like the Leafs were on a power play for a couple of minutes there. I think the first 5 minutes of the third period, and there was a stretch in the second period as well. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I agree with that. I think the problem is with the Montreal Canadiens, they're a young team and they need to find a way to get off the ice after 45 seconds to a minute. The defensive pairing, the lines that got caught in their own end were their best lines. It was the top line in their own end against a very strong line, and the Leafs can throw out two strong lines in a row, right? They have Marner and they have Matthews and they have Nyes on one, and then they throw out Nylander and Tavares on the next one, and so they go back to back for 2.5 minutes in the offensive zone. They were, the defense was sucking wind. Doesn't matter how good you're playing, and I think that's the challenge. It happens more on the second period.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think it's only the defensemen. I think it's the wingers, the centermen.
No, it's the defensive. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying defensemen. I think it's the defensive positioning of the five guys, right? But the issue is really that, you can't be caught against a good team for more than 45 seconds in your own end. That usually leads to one of three things: a goal, a penalty, or an icing, and then you just you're back at it again. And so that's the challenge that you have as a team. I thought the Canadiens, the other thing, so I agree with you. I think they have to work on finding a way to get that puck out and make changes quicker, especially in the second period. I think that was a problem they had last year. They already had it today, and then obviously in the early part of the third period. But you have to give Toronto credit. I mean, they're a great team. They have great offensive players, and they pressured the team. They needed a goal. So it's all fair. I didn't look at the stats, but I'll say this. As much as I love Evans and Dvorak and all our centers, they lost a lot of faceoffs today.
Yeah, they did.
And when you lose faceoffs in period 2 and period 3, when a team's down 1-0 or you're up by 1 goal, that's going to cause these problems, right? So I think that's another area of focus. It could just be a one-off. I mean, it's only game 1, and these guys are usually 50% plus guys. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue. But I definitely saw that was an issue tonight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're losing draws is a huge minus, and that they've got to be better at that, and that's going to help them with the breakout. I thought there were some positives for Hudson's defensive game. So yes, he's small, but I thought he was crafty in his own zone, and aside from maybe one or two things during the plays during the game, I thought he was able to get the puck out of the zone pretty swiftly. So I think it's only going to get better. I think that he's going to be able to, his craftiness in the offensive zone is going to help him in the defensive zone. So I think that's something to watch in the next couple of games, and I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'm not. I love Lane Hudson as an offensive talent, and from a defensive perspective, I'm never going to expect him to be a shutdown defenseman. But I agree with you in a sense that, and I'm not saying you're saying that. I agree with you that he's able to use his smarts to kind of limit the distance. And the issue with Lane Hudson is he's going to try some stuff, and it's not going to work. It happens with Matheson as well. He tends to back it up with his speed, and he has the length sometimes and the speed to kind of get it back. I'm hopeful Lane Hudson will be the same, but it is obvious there'll be a few turnovers. There'll be a few, mistakes early on. He's a young defenseman, 20 years old, and he'll progress. Defensemen take some time to mature. So I agree with you on that in terms of, but I'm not overly concerned, but I'm also not going to say, I'm not going to say it was a good defensive game for him. I thought he had some challenges, but that's expected. And so all in all, I'm optimistic about his plan. We need to get him on the power play. We need to get him on PP.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we need to see if there's any chemistry between. I just want to see Doc and Suzuki and Lane Hudson on the line. What did you think of Doc's game today?
I thought he was good. I thought the first period was really, really strong. I mean, towards the end of the game, he disappeared, but the first half of the game, he was super strong. Tough in the corners. I think his line held steady. So I was very pleased with he didn't get injured, which is another good plus. So he came out of this game healthy, which is a plus. Yeah. So I think he's only going to get better, and I think he's a huge component for this team. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the next couple of games.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I liked him with Armia. Newhook played a good game. He didn't really
Yep.
he generated some chances, but he didn't put the puck in the net. There was a lot of opportunities. Both teams had a lot of opportunities to put the puck in the net and didn't. So we need to find. I mean, if we're looking at the Montreal Canadiens, that was a challenge they had last year, and
Yeah.
that challenge needs. One goal is not going to win a lot of games. I mean,
They,
we had a great goaltending, but one goal is not.
they they hit 4 goalposts, maybe 5,
The other team or
maybe
the
one crossbar and 4 goalposts.
Toronto
Just for
did,
the
right?
record. Yeah,
Toronto did. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I know.
So,
Anyway, so from it's game one. Canadians are 1-0, undefeated. They have
yeah,
0 goals against. I think that's how they started the preseason, right? They didn't give up a goal for the first 2 preseason
that's
games
true.
either.
That's true.
So let's hope that this progresses to game 2 against Boston. Boston played last night. I wasn't overly impressed with them. It looks like Swayman didn't get the start last game, so he'll probably get the start tomorrow night. It's in Boston. It's a back-to-back night, so we'll probably see Primo since
Yeah,
Montepo's probably in the ice
I'm
right now, cooling
I'm
off.
excited to see if Oliver Kapanen gets started. Like you said, I think Heineman was maybe was nervous. Every time he touched the puck, it was just we didn't know what was going to happen with it. He either it was a turnover or he iced it or
Right.
it was just not good. So I'm hoping that they replace Heineman with Oliver Kapanen, and I hope that they keep ABB, Alex Barré-Boulet. I hope they keep him on because he had a strong game.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. The only thing I'll say there is I love Kapanen. I'm looking forward to seeing him start. But I'll say but on this. If he replaces Heineman, that's a bit of a third, fourth line kind of position, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Canadians put Pizzetta out there against Boston. But I'm not saying that's what I recommend. It's just hard to find. I don't know if he's going to get the chances on a line with Gallagher and Evans, but maybe. I mean, we'll see how the lines shift if the line shift. I don't disagree. We have to see him, play. And I'm not sure if he play. Maybe you bring Alex Barré-Boulet down to the line with Gallagher.
Did you notice that Barré-Boulet was on the power play a few times?
Yeah, he's on PP. Yeah, he's on PP too.
So
He's a
yeah,
playmaker. He's offensive. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm trying to figure out where Kapanen lands. I like the player. I don't know where he plays. Is what I'm trying to figure out with
I
Montreal.
would just swap him out with Heineman. Like
Play fourth line.
Heineman was just not good. So
right. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I'd like if they did that. I wouldn't be also surprised if they said, you know what, it's a fourth line position. Let's put Pizzetta out there with those guys. And that might be what they do. But
what did you think of Barron's game today?
Barron didn't get a lot of ice time. I can look at it. I mean, I thought he had a good first period. I thought in the first period he looked, I'm just looking at his ice time. He looked, how do I put it? Yeah, 11 minutes.
Yeah, 9 minutes. 9 minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking at 11:50, but either way, he had a penalty. He didn't do anything bad. He just he didn't stand out to me.
He made some mistakes. I don't know if did he get a penalty? I think
he got a penalty. He tried to lift the guy's stick and hit him in the face, and got a high sticking penalty in front of the net. It happens. I don't think it was yeah, I mean, there was a lot of turnovers. Matheson, they all did. Matheson did it. Hudson did it, and Barron didn't get a lot of ice time. I'll have to look at the stats, but I mean, listen, he's a right shooting defenseman. If he comes out of the lineup, then you have another. You only have 5. You'll have 5 defensemen out of 6 playing left-handed, which is an interesting thing. So we'll see. I'm not saying he was definitely the weakest of the. I wasn't too impressed with Jack-Eye either. I thought he made a few mistakes here and there. He didn't stay on his feet on a couple of chances, but again, I like Jack-Eye. He brings a level of toughness, and he's an important player for the team.
For sure. Against Boston, we're going to need Jack-Eye, and like you said, probably Pizzetta. I think it's going to be a rough game. Boston lost their last game, right? So they're gonna come out with a punch, and the Canadians better be ready because They're going to be at home. They lost their first game. I think it's going to be
Back to back for Montreal. It's going to be
yeah.
their primo. They're playing their backup goalie. You want to call him that, primo. So Canadians are. So I mean, it's going to be a tough one. If they win that one, then we'll have something to talk about. I thought the Canadians, like I said, played really well game one. If they can split the first two, great for them. If they win this second game, I mean, it would be huge for their confidence and their momentum going into the season. So
is Struble going to be okay to play? Is he injured?
we don't
Or
we don't know. He's injured. He has an upper
yeah.
body injury, but it's day to day. So day to day could be quick. You know, it is. You're right. It's back to back. So if he is feeling well, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Struble in. And would
And Barron would sit, and I think Barron
possibly. I mean,
yeah.
again, the Canadians might sit somebody else just because they might sit Jack Guy. They might sit. Who knows? I'm not saying they should. We'll see. It's just a matter of can they get away with one right-handed defenseman, which Gooley looked good on the right side, so I'm not too worried about him. All right. Anything else before we call it a night? All right.
No, I think this has been what a great win and a great start to the season, and I'm super pumped.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for the Montreal Canadiens to get a chance to get their real game skates on and get a win. It wasn't a overly impressive, win in terms of they outplayed the other team, but they, scored one goal more than the other, and our goaltending and defense stood up, and now we have to find a way to put the puck in the net and continue to do that. So, great talking to Steven. Anything else before we go?
No.
Right, cool.
Go Habs, and let's get another W tomorrow.
All right, that's Next Shift with Rick Wagan. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks.